With this new position, he was also given command of a new superweapon, a subjugator-class heavy cruiser titled the Malevolence, that could fire a pair of fleet-disabling ion blasts. Grievous lost his organic body after an ion attack, and now he hoped to deliver the Republic a series of devastating losses early on in this war. The first strike was in the Fu system, and then he would strike over a dozen more systems, attacks in which the Republic lost every ship involved. Plo Koon would head a task force and a trio of Venators to try and eliminate the superweapon in the Abnegado system. Before he engages, he informs Skywalker of his position, and Dooku is there to personally monitor the General's command of this prize ship.
Another successful test, wouldn't you say, Count?
We must keep our position secret. Send out the hunters. I want all of those life pods destroyed.
Dooku doesn't want there to be any witnesses, and orders rocket droid search teams deployed to eliminate any survivors that might be in the escape pods. We see that the Jedi are discussing the loss of contact with Plo's forces, but assume that he is likely dead just like with the other attacks. They order not to jump to his last location, but Skywalker agrees with his Padawan that they must investigate, arriving in the system in his ship the Twilight. When Grievous sees that he's lost contact with his search team, they worry that there were indeed survivors and rush over to see the freighter trying to flee. The enormous ion blast was launched to try and stop this single ship, but the expert piloting by Skywalker allowed them to get away. Dooku had told his general countless times that there could be no witnesses, and departs the ship in anger, saying that this failure would be reported to Darth Sidious.
Your failure is most unfortunate. I will have to discuss this with my master.
To make up for this loss, Grievous went on a killing spree, blasting apart medical transports in the outer and mid-rim. When Dooku hollows in to speak with him, we see that Grievous was learning to appreciate the disposable nature of the droid army.
The care these Jedi show for their troops is a weakness.
A weakness we shall continue to exploit.
Dooku tells him that they will strike the Kaleida Shoals medical station, which contains 60,000 clone troopers. And we see that Grievous' ability to keep the ship a secret was re-establishing Dooku's trust with him.
I feel very confident leaving the ship under your command, General.
And the General is sure to completely and immediately destroy all escape pods this time.
Target those escape pods. I have a reputation to uphold.
The Republic is worried that these attacks are nearing their secret medical facility. Suspecting that this was their next target, a fleet was scrambled to intercept. As soon as the Malevolence pops out of hyperspace, it unleashes its ion cannons, disabling several Pelta-class medical frigates, and then being able to get off a shot that took out half of the Y-Wing squadrons. But Grievous is unconcerned with a few pesky starfighters, and turns to fire on the medical station, underestimating the powerful ally that is the Force, and the piloting skills of the Chosen One. Kenobi arrives with his fleet, and the Venators open fire on the heavily damaged ship as it limps away on its sublight engines. The quick Republic cruisers are able to close in on him, and the turbolasers are quickly turning huge sections of the Malevolence into space debris.
Do not compound your failure this day by allowing our prize warship to fall.
Dooku's banking clan allies trapped Senator Padme by arranging a meeting to discuss peace, Dooku supplying the coordinates for the Malevolence. And using the ship's tractor beam, he was able to capture this Republic VIP, and the Jedi immediately call off their attack. Skywalker and Kenobi would lead a strike team, and in the hyperdrive chamber, Grievous would meet the galaxy-renowned Jedi General.
General Kenobi!
And we see some incredible strength that his body afforded him. When he's enraged that Obi-Wan got away, he picks up and slams a droideka. Skywalker would be able to rescue Padme, while Kenobi was forced to try and lose Grievous in the complex rail system that was used as a transport in this massive ship. When the Jedi get back to their ship, they give the all-clear to open fire on the Malevolence, and Grievous knew he had to flee. The General would take to his personal starfighter, the Soulless One, a name that referenced the Huck, but also this fallen spiritual state that Grievous found himself in. If he lost the superweapon, he hoped to make up for it by killing these two Jedi and the Senator by shooting down their freighter. But again, Skywalker's piloting saved them, and the B-1s call out to their general in a panic, as the ship's navicomputer was sending them into a nearby moon. Grievous knew this must have been manipulation by Kenobi or his Padawan, screaming at them to reset the navicomputer, but it was too late, and this incredibly powerful prototype superweapon was destroyed. When Dooku hails his general to get an update, Grievous is in such a state of defeat that he actually cuts off this call from his superior, needing time to think up what to do and what to say next. It is unclear what Grievous did to regain his master's trust, but he would soon after face off against a pair of Jedi on the planet Anoth and Bakura. Eventually, this led to a campaign that led to 6 separate major victories for the CIS in just 1 month. As Grievous went on a streak to prove himself, he burnt down entire cities on Ord Mantell and captured the valuable hyperlane routes connecting the core to planets Bespin, Kessel, and Mon Cala. This blitz in the Outer Rim helped them to consolidate CIS power in this region and cut off major Republic suppliers of Tabanagas and spice.
After suffering a series of disastrous defeats at the hands of General Grievous, the Republic's foothold in the Outer Rim is in jeopardy.
Next, he wanted to cut off their spy network. Bothawai was home to the Bothans, the millennia-long masters of intelligence. The Bothans were supplying both sides with intel, but the CIS was willing to force exclusivity. When Republic intelligence picked up on the arrival of massive separatist fleets nearing the Bothan system, they deployed General Skywalker to intercept. Grievous closes in, but knows that the Venators would be too powerful to attack from above, so he makes the bold decision to navigate through the asteroid ring. Grievous knew that the Republic would not risk sending larger ships to flank them, but Skywalker's creative thinking placed several ATTE walkers in the asteroids. With Grievous's decision to put all power in the forward shields, the walkers had a clear shot at some of the Munificent's weakest areas. The general was coming to understand how this CIS war machine worked. Resources were endless and everything was disposable, and he was getting good at telling exactly when the tide had turned. Without a word to his B-1s, he races to his starfighter to make a hurried escape, where he was nearly shot down until the Force appeared to be on his side for once, as debris disabled the Jedi ship. This allowed the general to regroup and take command of a nearby fleet, while the CIS had secretly arranged for Skywalker's new fleet to have a spy droid in the form of an astromech, one that would replace the lost R2 unit. R3 activated Anakin's tracking beacon, and Grievous is ready to pounce on the solo Jedi. He knows that even Dooku fears and respects the power of this Skywalker, and is desperate to prove that he was a great enough warrior to kill this Jedi.
Launch everything we have!
But the human evades, and Grievous is left to head to a nearby secret listening post known as Skytop Station. Here, Grievous had arranged to purchase R2 from a scavenger that found the droid in the wreckage. Once he has the astromech in his possession, he tries to ply the unit and even makes a lighthearted joke about something that once infuriated him.
No need for fear! We're all droids here!
Once they rip the astromech open, they see that the droid's memory had never been erased. He had all of the Republic codes, an endless ship and troop data. When the scavenger demands to be paid more for this, Grievous laughs and puts a lightsaber through the man. And again, we see an interesting attempt to win R2 over, being nice to him and even a comforting patting on the head.
Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you.
Just then, he gets word that the Jedi had arrived with a Republic strike team, and Grievous has his Magna Guards take position to defend the priceless data while he rushes out to collect more lightsabers. When he rounds the hall, he laughs at what a pathetic sight he sees.
They sent a child to destroy my station? The Republic must be running out of Jedi?
An unknowing reference to the fact that Grievous had indeed forced Jedi like Ahsoka into combat, out of fear that they were running out of Jedi. The little one was brave, but easily defeated, and when the clones opened fire, despite a lack of force connection, he would be able to deflect a bolt back at one of the troops. Perhaps a mix of Dooku's continued training and the tightness of the space, while his blaster-proof alloy body allows him to confidently close the gap. He leaps into the group, slashing two and kicking the others unconscious. Grievous lords over this lab-created warrior, raising his saber to end the life of Captain Rex, only to have that pesky Jedi intercept him at the last second. Ahsoka, just 14 years old, only months into her first war, was projecting nothing but confidence in the presence of this cyborg warlord, but she could tell that his unique abilities and multiple sabers could not be matched. Ahsoka would flee, bringing Grievous away from her clone allies, and then his spy R3 droid would give up Ahsoka's position, while the Magna Guards were showing their elite training, being able to keep up with one of the best swordsmen in the Order. When Grievous does find the Padawan, he tries to drain her arrogance and fill her with fear before taking her life. But Rex detonated the explosives that rock the station. The Jedi calls on the Force and slides one of Grievous's hands down onto the other, severing it with his own blade. This girl would survive the brush with one of the greatest warriors in the galaxy, while the general saw that this station was beyond saving, hopping in Solus 1 to make his escape. What we often see with him is that this loss is followed by a series of brutal victories to make up for it, capturing the planets Janfothal and Cothless, followed by pushing a major Republic counterstrike that attempted to take back Nexus Ortai. 3 systems were captured in just weeks, and Dooku and Grievous then turned to the clone homeworld on Kamino. Besides Coruscant itself, this was perhaps the second most important Republic world. To achieve this would first require capturing the Rishi Moon outpost, which was part of an emergency alert network that could warn Kamino of any CIS advance. By using the cover of a meteor shower, commando droids are able to capture the station. The droids check in with their progress, and we see that Ventress had been secretly setting up things on Kamino for the coming invasion. Notice that she does respect her superior in this conversation.
Very good, my lord. I will await your arrival.
It was only through bad luck, or the Force, that Cody and Rex would be carrying out a routine inspection of this base, discovering the clone survivors, and retaking the station. Grievous tried sending reinforcements to keep that all-clear signal broadcasting, but the clones blew up the entire station, knowing once this signal died, a Republic fleet would be rapidly deployed. When the Venators pop into real space, Grievous knows his plan must be abandoned for now. And it was because of this strike that was too close to home that the Republic first issued a dead or alive bounty on the general, willing to turn the underworld into an ally if it meant killing this cyborg.